that boy Timothy Chalamet, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I gotta watch this Dune 2. This Dune 2 breakdown trailer, dude, bro. I just want to talk about Dune 2, bro. Dune 2, bro. LISAN Al GAIB, bro. As it was written, my boy is the prophet, the future. What's his name? Paul Madul As LISAN Al GAIB, boy. Oh, bro, I'm sorry, bro. This shit so hard, bro. Hold on. First things first, bro. This nigga, my nigga Steel Guard right here. This my nigga. This nigga Steel Guard, bro. This nigga Steel Guard, bro. This my, bro. Hit the pole. Hold on. Bro, nigga was posting on the sand corner like these, boy. Bro, that boy Steel Guard. This nigga Steel Guard, bro. Bro, I'm not gonna lie, this nigga Steel Guard, he is D1 Glazer, bro. Bro, anytime that boy Paul Atreides did something, bro, this nigga Steel Guard talking about LISAN Al GAIB, the prophet. You see, bro. There was one time, bro. Bro, it's like, bro, dude was talking about, bro, I'm not the prophet, bro. I'm just trying to free everybody. You feel me? And then this man talking about, bro. Listen to the prophet, bro. He's so generous. He's so nice. He's so nice. Look at the prophet, bro. Bro, this nigga Steel Guard. This nigga cold as hell, but he is a Glazer, dude. But nah, bro. I really wanna. I saw the movie yesterday. You feel me? And like, bro, Zorro, if you trying to watch it, dude, I'm gonna watch the breakdown of the movie. I just want to rewatch the movie. You feel me? That's why I'm watching the breakdown, see if I missed anything, any details. But Dune, I do need to rewatch Dune 1 because I watched Dune 1, but I didn't understand what the hell I was watching. It was crazy. I think I watched a breakdown video of Dune 1 also, but it's not in my brain. I fully don't understand what's going on. You feel me? But yeah, the first one, but it looks interesting. Bro, Dune 2, I would say Dune 2 is a lot more, it's easier to grasp than Dune 1. It's easier to grasp than Dune 1, I would say, in my opinion, but shit was fire. I'm just gonna watch this breakdown, you feel me? And I'm just gonna chill, relax. Also, I'm gonna watch the breakdown of Invincible episode 5. Cause, yeah.
Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Eric Voss, and this is a breakdown of Dune Part 2. Denis Villeneuve's 2024.
That boy Paul Atreides at drip, boy. Bro, and it was crazy, bro. All he added to the regular, I don't know what they call it, the Farranin or whatever. He just added the cloak. He just added the cloak for extra drip. People said it was the next Harry Potter. Fuck it, Harry Potter, bro. It's the next Star Wars. Cause you feel me? They dealing with galaxies and all that. Harry Potter, they stayed in the little castle. Actually, I'm lying. I will compare it more to Star Wars. But what's crazy is they kind of only stayed on one planet. You feel me? Like I want to get to the part where they're like going to different planets. Like I want to see different locations, cause bro, half the time, I mean, they had like a good little arena, but like, bro, 75% of the movie like you in the desert. You feel me? So.
Follow-up to his excellent 2021 Part 1 and an adaptation of the second half of Frank Herbert's 1965 sci-fi novel. This film is a true masterpiece with immersive world-building, explosive action, fierce performances, and an unapologetic examination of false messiah mythology. That these types of stories, film is a true masterpiece with immersive world-building, explosive action, fierce performances.
This boy, bro, my friends call this nigga Jinxie. Bro, this man Jinxie, this nigga's an ugly motherfucker, but he raw though. He raw, but he just psychotic, bro. They call dude psychopathic. Goddamn, I don't know. He was supposed to take the throne, you feel me? But this nigga Jinxie is a demon.
In an unapologetic examination of false messiah mythology that these types of stories typically don't bother challenging. So let's break this down scene by scene for all the details you missed, changes from the book, and the finer artistry that's just worth appreciating. Starting with these,
I'm gonna get to that Invincible
starter card
yeah, I'm gonna get
blasting out at us. Power over spice is power over all. It's exactly how the 2021 Dune opened, but with a different quote. The difference between these quotes, dreams are messages from the deep versus power over spice is power over all, illustrates the divide between these two films. Part 1 was more contemplative, dealing with Paul Atreides and the Bene Gesserit's dwellings on the future, and the words from the deep indicating that the source of everything might be buried deep in the sand. But in Part 2, power over spice, power over all, sets the table for a more combative sequel, with warring sides grasping for control over this universe's most critical natural resource,
it was boxing.
Spice. But the voice we hear is the throat singing of the starter car from Seleucus Secundus. Guess it's a little odd to give this opening vocalization to the Sardaukar, as they are really the Emperor's elite assassins with their own culture disconnected from Arrakis and the Bene Gesserit, but it does sound really cool. But really what we are hearing is the throat singing of Azusa Pacific vocalist Michael Geiger, who did a fascinating interview with a musician named Dmitry Tarkanikov that you should totally watch. Both guys explain that while this throat singing was described as Mongolian, in fact it's actually more Tibetan inspired. Don't tell that to the country that Warner Brothers is banking on this movie doing really well in. But for the Sardaukar language, while the super talented Game of Thrones conlanger David J. Peterson created most of the languages for Dune, the vocalist Michael Geiger claimed that he really improvised the Sardaukar words that we actually hear, and he wrote on his website that the sounds are not a language, but really an encoded military battle chant, a specific series of syllables with the consonants purposely removed to render the remaining vowel sounds discernible only to the Sardaukar. I love this idea that both films open with the Sardaukar commenting on Paul Atreides' next moves within their own cryptic shorthand, because as we will see throughout this film, it's a running theme that the story of Paul Atreides is really told by everyone else except Paul Atreides. Told by Princess Irulan's journals, told by Stilgar's prophecies, told by the plotting.
Hold on. They go to Glazer right there. They go to Glazer right there.
Everyone else except Paul Atreides.
Hold on.
By Princess Irulan's journals, told by Stilgar.
That boy Stilgar, boy. I'm not gonna lie. Stilgar was my favorite character in the whole movie, bro. Cause like, bro, it did not matter what Paul did, bro. This man Stilgar was riding me through and through, bro. Like that man, bro. Like this nigga Stilgar, bro. Like, bro, you need a nigga like Stilgar on squad, bro. I'm trying to be the Stilgar of squad, bro. Like, bro, my homie did anything, like, bro. Say, bro. See, my man's right there, bro. That's a good guy. He can't do no wrong, bro. LISAN now give. You feel me? That boy is the prophet. He is the Messiah. You feel me? Fuck with my mans. You know what I mean?
Stilgar's prophecies, told by the plotting of the Bene Gesserit, and told by Paul's mother, Lady Jessica, and his sister Alia. But I want to talk about this vocalist because both films credit all the music to Hans Zimmer. But a truth that too often goes ignored in Hollywood is that film composing is actually far more collaborative. And when you see Hans Zimmer's name on a movie, you're actually seeing several ghost composers at Zimmer's Santa Monica-based studio Remote Control. Zimmer himself has gotten better about shouting out his collaborators, and Michael Geiger is credited as a co-writer of Sardaukar chant. Then we hear the voice of Florence Pugh as Princess Irulan of House Carino, daughter to the Emperor Shaddam IV, played by Christopher Walken. She recaps the events of Part 1, but leaves some details out. She says, Imperial Diary, year 10,191, third comet, the battle for Arrakis took everyone by
them
surprise.
boys, her and the Emperor's, them the ops,
warning, the declaration of war. By morning, the Atreides were no more. All died in the dark. And Irulan says that there were no witnesses, telling us that the Emperor's deployment of the Sardaukar was a scandalous secret. The author Frank Herbert set Dune in the year 10191 on the Imperial calendar, which would be 21267 AD in Earth's timeline. The stories of Dune are set AG, or after Guild, referring to the founding of the Spacing Guild, which created a monopoly on all space travel. Space travel in Dune is made possible by spice, aka melange, which is consumed by Guild navigators, a strain of super evolved humans mentally conditioned to calculate navigation paths through space and needing melange to do it. Humanity functions this way because of a past Butlerian jihad, which was mankind's war against computers and thinking machines. All of this explains why there are no computers in Dune, no AI, no digital weaponry, and why religious forces based on elements of Christianity and Islam have really taken over all of culture. So we see Harkonnen soldiers torching Atreides corpses that they've piled up, and we see the portrait of Duke Leto Atreides set ablaze. Meanwhile, Princess Irulan plays
that's Paul Pot right there.
This is
Pop.
Chups, which is a 9-level pyramid chess game where, in addition to putting the opponent's king in check, you also try to put the queen piece at the apex. This foreshadows how Irulan is really part of the conspiratorial, matriarchal Bene Gesserit order, manipulating Shaddam and other male heads of houses to do their bidding. We see
I didn't really get, well, watch the movie, I didn't really get like the female Reverend Mother part, like where they fit in it. I'm guessing they're kind of like pulling the strings in the backgrounds, you feel me? But Holy bro, explain
Harkonnen,
it.
played by Stellan Skarsgård, honoring his nephew Glasu Raban, played by Dave Bautista. We see banners with a House Harkonnen sigil designed for the 2021 film, which is a kind of barbed sickle. In the text, the Harkonnen sigil is the Griffin, House Atreides sigil is the Red Hawk, and the ruling House Carino is the Golden Lion. The 2021 film ended with Paul Atreides and Lady Jessica escaping the assault on Arrakeen, which led to the death of Duke Leto Atreides, and the two made their way out into the desert to join the Fremen. Paul defeated Jamis in a duel and joined the tribe as
R.I.P.
they
that boy
followed Stilgar,
Jamis.
who rode a sandworm deeper into the desert, setting us into this biblical wandering through the desert of the Hebrew tribes as they made their way to a destined promised land. And this film begins with them in that desert as the sun is eclipsed by both of the two moons of Arrakis, which the 2021 film discussed in a scene, the larger one nicknamed the Hand of God for its formation that resembles a fist, the smaller one with the formation that resembles the native desert kangaroo mouse of this planet, which is why they call this moon Muad'Dib, the name that Paul will choose for himself. So in fact, in this scene,
What's
Paul was
Paul
empowered
name?
by the
Bro,
moon
Paul
that will bear
name.
his name
Paul
and a Hand of God
Muad'Dib.
watching over him. It casts
LISAN
his
GAIB,
minutes
nigga, yo.
in this fiery orange glow. But while Paul sleeps, or we think he's sleeping, we get a familiar heartbeat or clock tick sound from the Zimmer remote control team, similar to what we heard in Interstellar. A kind of as Paul is communing with his sister, Aliyah, which she's still either in an embryonic or fetal state in Jessica's womb. He tells her to go back to the stars to be with her father because he won't have enough time.
After, I'm not trying to spoil, but I am trying to spoil, like, you feel me? But after Mama Dukes drinks, like, the little purple water, she started talking. Apparently she was pregnant. I didn't know she was pregnant this whole time. But apparently she's pregnant. And after she drank, like, the little blue water, they gonna show it, she started talking to, like, Paul's sister, which was in her belly at the time. So I don't know how that works, but there was a flashback when, like, his sister was, like, I guess grown or something. I don't
Do what he needs to do before he dies. Villeneuve establishes this film as a recurring dialogue with the baby sister to set up the big reveal of Anya Taylor-Joy as her future adult form on Arrakis with the restored ocean. Because as readers of the Dune series,
I didn't
including
peep
Dune
that.
Messiah all the way through Children of Dune, they know that Paul Atreides is not the ultimate hero of this story, and that a few minutes from now, Paul will tell Chani that he wasn't sleeping during this conversation with his sister. He was actually really in a kind of trance. One Harkonnen hears the
so
thumper
Paul
and
not the
says,
main-
"The rats are calling
main
a
bro?
worm." They echo Raban's pejorative of rat, without realizing that by embracing the Muad'Dib as his moniker, it's actually a compliment for Paul and the Fremen's resourcefulness. After they come upon Jameis's body and hear that thumper, there's kind of a how the hell did Villeneuve do this shot of a Harkonnen soldier just silently floating along that rock formation and then patting himself along it horizontally until he smoothly comes to his feet. Now, I assume they did this with wires and just removed them with posts, but you know, the shadow without any wires just looks so real. I just point this out because it could look really stupid and really goofy, but the tech in this movie looks so good. So the Fremen snipe these Harkonnens, and then it just starts raining bodies. Paul lunges for the Harkonnen dagger at the same time as the other soldier. They fight, and since Paul, who has recently learned how to dance deftly on the sand, has better footing while fighting this heavy-footed Harkonnen. Yet, while another one is about to get the drop on Paul, Lady Jessica crushes that one's face with a rock. Because Paul, despite being the prophesied hero, actually needs the Bene Gesserit women to take care of him. Now, Denis Villeneuve shot most of this film in IMAX. In an interview with Kevin McCarthy, he said that for the 2021 film, he alternated between IMAX 1:3:1 ratio for outdoor desert scenes that emphasize nature, and then switched to 2:9:1 ratio for indoor scenes that focused on technology. But Villeneuve said that for the sequel, most of it takes place outside, so most of it is in IMAX, and so that it would be less distracting for anything indoors, which is just a bit wider than the 1:8:5:1 that you may remember for 2012's The Avengers. So Stilgar and the other Fremen drain the fluids from the Harkonnen still suits. He says that their bodies have filthy water, full of chemicals, but good enough for cooling systems, and when Jessica begins to retch at this, he warns, don't let it out.
Shit was
And then
nasty,
he
bro. They were
swears
just like
when she
pumping
vomits from
water
pregnancy
out
puke
of
to
dead
tears,
people's
as
bodies.
we'll see later. Any premature release of
It was
any
nasty.
body fluid is sacrilegious to these Fremen. Stilgar leads the group to a Sitch Tabor. A Sitch refers to a cave where the Fremen gather, and its name actually comes from Sitch, from the 15th century Zaporozhian Cossacks, who inhabited what's now the lands of Ukraine. Some Fremen mistrust Paul as a spy who killed Jamis, but others call him the Lisan al-Gaib, showing how the Bene
Lisan
Gesserit
al-Gaib,
propaganda
yeah.
has already taken root, but there is still work to
As
do.
it was written.
Paul eats the Fremen food.
Lisan
and experiences a
al-Gaib.
vision showing
Yeah.
his father's portrait rising.
So
The
hard.
Fremen Shishakil jokes that it's too spicy for the foreigner, which is just a fun
Bro, she was
parallel
hating
to
at
our
the beginning.
world where
She was
international
hating
food
crazy.
is just sometimes judged as too spicy for Caucasian palates. I say this as someone who loves spicy food, and it just kills me when I'm watching Great British Baking Show and Paul Hollywood's always like, there's too much garlic in this focaccia. To which I scream at my TV, it's because your cuisine is so based on World War II food rationing that you had to adopt the culinary traditions of your mortal enemies, the French, to
Bro,
make
was
your
that
food
fish stick,
palatable. But
fish
anyway,
stick
in
chips
this
and
case,
baked
the
beans?
the spice is literally the spice,
It's
the
disgusting.
psychedelic melange. Stilgar shows Jessica the vast well into which all
Mine, though.
liquidated
I haven't
Fremen are
had- I haven't had
deposited,
fish sticks in a
making
minute.
38 million decaliters that they plan to use to terraform the planet and to restore its green paradise. And Stilgar tells Lady Jessica that they want to make her the new Reverend Mother, and it just kind of shows the artificiality of this myth building, because Stilgar only wants Jessica to become the Reverend Mother because she's Paul's mother, which would support the claim that Paul is Lisan al-Gaib. Remember, this society is derived from traditions like Christianity, with Jesus and his mother Mary. In order for there to be a Messiah, there has to be a Messiah's mother, who is also in an important role. Though we should point out that Stilgar and the others use prayer mats, which evokes Islam. In 1965, Frank Herbert wrote Dune with various Arabic terms as a commentary on the wars of the Middle East, where a sense of religious entitlement to land intersects with an outside, insane economic interest on a natural resource. And here we are in 2024, and it's only got more relevant. When the stakes are this high, humanity's worst natures will always prevail, because everyone thinks that God is on their side. So before she's about to undergo this spice agony by consuming the water of life, Jessica
That's the
calms
blue water I
herself
was
by
talking
saying
about.
fear is a mind killer. And I think it's interesting that this water of life glows the same vibrant
Poke,
shade
bruh.
of blue as these characters I do when they
Poke,
consume the
I'm
lunch. So
not
she
even
gyrates.
I'm not even in the wild card gang. It's looking rough for Coach Deezy, but I gotta win out. I saw the rankings drop, you feel me? And just looking tough. It's looking tough. I gotta find a way. I just gotta win. That's the best I can do. That's all I can hope for. I just gotta win. Hope some people lose. And shit, nigga.
And the fluid goes inside of her and prematurely awakens Aaliyah's mind, giving mother and daughter this supernatural insight, but also centuries of pain and suffering. Pain that Jessica says only women can handle. Stilgar sends Paul out in the desert and warns him about the jinn, demonic desert spirits. So jinn is an Arabic word from Muslim mythology referring to spirits that are ranked lower than angels but take human and animal forms. The English language derived from the word jinn.
I hadn't seen no jinn in the
And while Paul
movie,
thinks he sees the jinn of Jameis, it's actually Johnny here to help him survive this Fremen rite of passage.
Oh, wait, she was a jinn?
Depicting this as genuine love, but by the end we learn that Paul is just using her and appropriating the Fremen to get ahead. We see a little moity mouse skipping up to Paul's straw as he is buried in the sand to raid a Harkonnen spice harvester.
This was a hard scene.
If
This
there's
was hard.
one film that I think Dune Part 2 has the most in common with, it's David Lean's 1962 masterpiece Lawrence of Arabia, which shows T. Lawrence's exploits with tribal groups in Syria, leading raids on shipments of the Ottoman Turks. He is an outsider guided by an unimpeachable idealism that nothing is written.
Damn, that's crazy. So Paul's just using Zendaya? Fuck. Cause like he gonna talk about at towards the end, but like there was one scene where he did. Fuck. But I'm gonna say anyway, bro. The final scene. He gonna talk about. Let me
Man to be seen on big screens with gorgeous desert imagery and groundbreaking uses of lighting and scale. This scene reminds me so much.
That's
of
crazy.
The
Cause like
raids.
cause Paul really did at the end of the movie. He went over to her and said, "Hey, I'ma love you always." Just so you know that. And he just dipped. Nigga just dipped. Bro, that nigga
saw in Lords of Arabia. The Fremen rely on their quickness on the sand, shielding themselves with parts of the harvester, and most of all, just good old-fashioned teamwork. Like Paul draws the fire, he distracts the shooter on the aerial craft, and there's this great shot where the shooter focuses his scope back on Chani, who has already lowered the RPG from her fire, and the Harkonnen turns to see that projectile burrowing through the shield, and boom! It reminds me of Spielberg's shot in Saving Private Ryan, where the Nazi sniper has a delayed response to seeing Private Jackson firing right back at him, and we are not seeing how Paul has...
Bro, cause unless, bro, my only hope is goddamn. I think Deku has one user game, bro. He has one, bro. I got two, bro. I gotta win my two use. He has one. You feel me? And like, bro, I was praying Raheem was gonna be there when he was playing Deku, but Raheem wasn't there. Deku got a free win. I'm not gonna lie, I got a free win on Raheem too. You feel me? But like, it's just, I think Deku got to play Soup. And I'm just praying Soup goes crazy. I think he got to play the Patriots. Bro. And I got to play. I don't know. I'm not sure if the people I got to play are Raw. I don't think I got to play the Saints. I thought the Saints were wrong. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Smartly played this, refusing
know, man.
Stilgar's claims earlier that Jessica's resistance to the poison fit the prophecy that Chani knows that Bene Gesserit invented, and instead proves his worth to the Fremen as a desert survivor and a warrior to win over the skeptics. He earns the title of Fedaykin Fighter, coming from the Arabic Fedaykin, meaning those who sacrifice themselves. Stilgar gives him the surname of Usul, the base of the pillar, and Paul chooses for his first name the Muad'Dib, but he also plays the smart because
LISAN,
the smart desert mouse is.
Bro, his name is so damn long.
Despite in part 1, we saw him watching lecture recordings about this animal. He just plays dumb so that they will like him more. And at this point, Paul chooses to remove his House Atreides ring, which I see as a form of deception. He is hiding his nobility from them. Dune is almost here, and if you're like us, you're counting down to when we finally get to see Arrakis home. Design, Denis Villeneuve's and Dune by with Luke and behind Brass have been pivotal pieces. It's Stilgar designing his home. To get yours before they run out, click the link in the description. He describes to Chani his home world of Caladan. He says, where you see sand here, imagine water. Denis Villeneuve visually equates worm riding in this movie with surfing. The speed with which Stilgar glides past evokes a surfer or like a parasailor gliding past an observer sitting on the sand dunes of a beach, which makes something that could look really goofy instead look undeniably athletic and powerful and cinematic. Chani tells Paul that
bro, that nigga's so right, bro, because like, bro, when them niggas was gotten them, bro, I'm sorry, bro, I can't get over this shot. I need to find that shot of Stilgar, bro. I keep going on little tangents, but bro, that shot of Stilgar, bro. That shot of Stilgar, bro. Hold on. I'm glazing my nigga Stilgar crazy, bro. Cause this nigga Stilgar, he just so hard. He just so listen I GAIB. Nigga just be glazing, dude. Bro, see that edit hard. But like, bro, there's this one scene. It's a one scene where bro, he was just posted, bro. He was hitting these. He was just like going like this, just chilling, bro. And like shit was just hard. It was hard as hell. It was just a hard scene, bro. He had all the niggas behind him, bro. Nah, that nigga Stilgar comfy. I can't find him, but that nigga Stilgar so comfy.
Is Sihaya, which
so
means
comfy.
Desert Spring, of course, foreshadowing the role of her tears and Paul's resurrection and transformation. Paul has dreams of being in the South and following some female figure in a future holy war as billions die of starvation. This woman he later interprets to be his mother, but it could also be Chani, who appears later in a different dream scarred by radiation burns, or even his sister Aaliyah, who appears in a later vision by the shore. Who knows? It could also be Irulan. Paul
I don't think it's not Chani, but it's definitely either his mother or sister.
The final test of summoning a Shai Hulud.
Definitely
While
either
he
one
initially
of them.
plants the thumper on the crest of the ridge, Chani whispers to go lower, and Paul listens and goes down and pounds this sand, which gives off a deeper rumble. And this calls the biggest sandworm any of them have ever seen. And I love that initially they don't even notice the worm sign in the distance. They just kind of think it's just another peak or storm because it could never possibly be that big. This entire sequence is awesome. It's shot to mirror a surfer rushing to catch his first wave and then struggling to get his feet up on the board. They constructed pieces of the sandworm so that they could show it in close-up. So here we see its slits, its nostrils, its scaly skin. We see the worm as Paul sees it in this moment. Timothée Chalamet said that he was blasted with wind turbines and sand and said it took 3 months in total to shoot this. Denis Villeneuve identified this particular shot of Paul finally standing up on the worm, the close-up of his feet, as his favorite shot in the film. Now, Denis Villeneuve has gotten some heat in the past week for his distaste of dialogue in films. He said that he blames television writing for making dialogue in movies too abundant. I think he was misunderstood, because obviously Denis Villeneuve loves sound and he loves communication in his movies. Arrival is all about communication, but I think what he's saying is that most films crowning moments, like this moment here with Paul and the Shai Hulud, our sequences were just the shots
Have I
and
watched
the
Arrival
sound
yet? I
come
don't think I
together
watched
in a
Arrival
way
yet.
where we don't need characters talking us through it. Good screenwriting is not just snappy dialogue. Good screenwriting is the math of story structure that isn't as sexy, and just the screenwriter being in tune with the audience's emotions from story beat to story beat. And there's so many.
They talking about that show don't tell.
Just dialogue. Paul says
you don't gotta be spamming dialogue. You just show them what's happening.
The people of Arrakis.
We gave them something to hope for.
That's not hope. After the Fremen hit a spice depot, Rabban foolishly rushes into Fremen territory, and with all the Harkonnens, you'll notice that they always wear visors and shields over their eyes. They're foot soldiers, even their pilots, and it's because their home world of Gedi Prime is heavily polluted and has a sun that emits light within the IR spectrum, referring to infrared, which affects their vision and makes them super sensitive to the light on Arrakis. Robin tries to tune his eyes to the sunlight. Meanwhile, these other soldiers are puking, they raise their visors, and this shows the biggest disadvantage of the Fremen. And as a result of this, we see how the power has shifted. Before, it was Paul hiding from the Harkonnens in the sand. Now, he is all around them. He is the literal Muad'Dib. He's hopping and rolling in the sand. We only see Paul's face when an explosion lightens it.
I remember him being like sort of raw in Dune 1, but bro, part 2,
so who is as blind as a rat now? Meanwhile, Emperor Shaddam
he was like not trying. He wasn't trying to box nobody.
If this Muad'Dib is a religious
he wasn't applying
figure,
no pressure, bro. He just
can't
bitch
use
made.
direct force. Repression only makes a religion flourish. You'll only end up humiliating yourself.
You underestimate my sarcasm.
You underestimate.
Oh, you
the power
underestimate
of
my
faith.
power.
I think it's saying something that the script is so confident with its inner politics that even the great Christopher Walken just disappears into this role as a weakened and fading politician. Irulan is part of the Bene Gesserit coven.
Muad'Dib means kangaroo mouse. An unusual war name for a Fremen. What if Paul Atreides were still alive?
Enough.
Reverend Mother Gaius Helen Mohiam says that the Bene Gesserit do not hope, they plan. And they have another prospect. Baron Vladimir Harkonnen's youngest nephew, Fade Rautha, played by Austin Butler. Austin Butler played Elvis Presley, and you might remember the character was played by Sting in the David Lynch Dune. But the idea is that the character just has to be a rock star. And Austin Butler totally delivers here. He worked with vocal coaches to emulate the vocal style that Stellan Skarsgård used for this film. And it took him several weeks to shed the voice that he had acquired for Elvis. And at this point, the film shifts to Getty Prime. Outside in the gladiator arena, we shift into monochrome. According to Entertainment Weekly, Villeneuve, in this movie's cinematographer, the great Greg Fraser, who also shot the first film and The Batman and Zero Dark 30, Rogue One, and The Mandalorian pilot, they decided to shoot Getty Prime in black and white to convey the infrared spectrum of the low-light black sun of this planet. They actually used infrared cameras to shoot this sequence. Villeneuve said that he wanted this world to feel binary, fascist, insectoid without nuances. The fireworks overhead looked like ink blots, as those would be the highest contrast pyrotechnics that would be visible to these crowds. Now, this match is supposed to be staged for Fade Rautha to win. The third fighter, we see that Baron Vladimir creates a special challenge for Fade Rautha on his birthday to prove himself.
Yeah, because like what they didn't show was he was fighting 3 niggas at once, but 2 of the niggas, they were all 3. There was the 3 last remaining members of House Atreides, the Ops, which were supposed to be wiped out after this arena, but Paul is still alive, which they don't know. You feel me? But they drugged 2 of them. They left old buddy alive. He was boxing. Old buddy was doing his thing. But you feel me? 2 of them was drugged already. They was kind of wonky. They wasn't moving right. And he gonna talk about how it was an unfair match until old buddy, you feel me, he was piping up. He is
a masochist. He likes a challenge and he likes the pain. The Bene Gesserit have sent Lady Margot Fenring, played by Lea Seydoux, to bed Fade Rautha to secure their contingency for Arrakis. And what we think is a seduction is actually a Gom Jabbar test, like what Paul had gone through in the opening of the first film. But since it's all a black leather, sexualized atmosphere, the very idea of a pain test is something that Fade Rautha enjoys. So you can see how the Bene Gesserit would be very impressed by that, because I think at the end of the day, they just view all men as disgusting anyway. Meanwhile, Paul reunites with Gurney Halleck, Josh Brolin, who survived the assault on House Atreides to become a spice smuggler. The instrument he plays is the balisette, a 9-string descendant of the zither. Paul says, "I recognize your footsteps, old man," recalling their old training. I just like this idea that Paul is kind of transforming into a sandworm, in a way, buried in the sand, sensing footsteps above. Paul tells Gurney that he has foreseen billions dying because of him.
Because you lose control. Because I gain it.
Gurney reveals to Paul the location of the House Atreides atomic arsenal. It's unlocked only by Paul's DNA. He unlocks it by sticking his hand in a slot, which visually reminds me of the Gom Jabbar box test. Kind of like reaching into slots like this is how Paul gains power. There's probably, like a sexual analog to that, but I'm not going to get into it. Lady Jessica makes it to the south, where the worm handler shows her a baby sandworm, which she drowns in water to extract the water of life. Sitch Tabor is destroyed by the Harkonnens, which is a war crime that leads to this Fremen War Council in the south. So Aaliyah and Jessica were right. Had Paul not stayed in the north and escalated everything, Sitch Strange Tavern might not have been destroyed, and he would have expedited his destined ascendancy within the Fremen. He also would not have found the Atreides atomic arsenal, so there might have been overall less destruction. So Paul goes south and he drinks the water of life, and he sees all of the future and the past, and then this hooded figure walking up a sand dune to see a vast ocean of water on Arrakis. That voice that we heard
Also,
earlier.
they also didn't add how the way of life, the blue juice, is supposed to kill all men.
It's Anya Taylor-Joy as Aaliyah. She sheds
or
a
said
tear
it was very lethal to men. Like men are not supposed to survive.
Arrakis has oceans,
apparently only women can drink it to turn the Reverend Mother or whatever.
Dune,
But
the
since he's
novel
the
shows
LISAN
Aaliyah's birth. It
al-GAIB,
takes
he can
place
drink
over
it.
a longer period of time, and the young girl has a role to play in the final conflict in the throne room. This movie, though, leaves her in the womb the entire time, and we only really see her when she's in the womb and in this future vision form played by Anya Taylor-Joy. They wanted to bring in a big movie star to just kind of show us that there's a future franchise. But when Frank Herbert wrote Dune, he was dismayed that so many readers identified Paul Atreides as a hero, when really the whole point of Dune was for Paul Atreides to be seen as a tragic hero, an artificial messiah, a commentary on Messiah myth. So Herbert went on to write Dune Messiah, followed by Children of Dune, God Emperor of Doom, Heretics of Dune, and Chapter House Dune. These novels explore Paul's coming holy war, and Aaliyah takes a much bigger role, and I'm not going to spoil what happens, but it is weird, but it's awesome. So really, the Dune Part 2 film
so Paul's not like the
Aaliyah, to make her
hero,
this kind of future vision, this voice that guides Paul from inside his mother, and kind of another woman that Lady Jessica can have this dialogue with. And it makes it creepier in a way that she's still inside the womb for the entire film. There's something just unnatural and wrong about it, and I think it makes for a better story, because it really just feels like witchcraft is at work here. So Chani awakens Paul using her desert spring tears, which she places into the water of life and places on his lips. This gives the Fremen an artificial resurrection to convince them that he must be the LISAN al-GAIB. Paul, now awakened, confronts his mother and confirms that he knows the truth, that she is the daughter of Baron Vladimir Harkonnen, making Paul both an Atreides and a Harkonnen. And I love how Lady Jessica at this point has just transformed for the second half of the film, now wearing robes upon which costumer Matt Reitsma hand-printed the Fremen alphabet. So Paul enters the sacred Fremen prayer room and commands.
So what happened was that his mother was apparently the daughter of the Baron dude, which is the Ops, which came out of because the Ops basically destroyed their whole family. You feel me? Or House Atreides. So like that was twist.
Attention in this room by telling each of them their past and their destinies, revealing to a skeptic the original Fremen name of the planet, Dune. The one time we hear Dune said in this movie, and everyone just loses their shit. I love this scene because it's a difficult thing to
No. See, he's skipping out stuff because like, bro, when that boy Paul was walking through, bro, when Paul got to that center part, bro, he basically said, "Hey, no one in this room can fuck with me." That's literally what he said. Not literally what he said. But he basically said, "I'm the best fighter here." Bro, it was crazy. Like, everyone stood up in unison, like, started drawing their blades and stuff. Then he started talking about, like, their, like, past and stuff, and, like, stuff he shouldn't know. And then he, like, eased the crowd up. But that was, bro, he said, "I'm the LISAN al-GAIB. I am the prophet. I'm the best. I'm your Messiah," basically. He was... Bro, nah. After Paul drank that the little blue juice, he completely, that nigga was on demon time. He was on.
It does not show us the rise of a hero. It is showing us the tragic fall of a monster. Paul's speech is a performance. He is acting. He's playing a part. He's reading from a script. So Irulan and the Bene Gesserit joined the Emperor to go to Arrakis to answer Paul's challenge. Costume designer Jacqueline West took inspiration from the Tarot Queen of Swords figure and West's own Catholic schooling to create the habits of these Bene Gesserit nuns. For Irulan, she made this form-fitting armored headdress to look like the shape of the habits that younger nuns would wear, and to fortify this character as really the moral compass of the film. Paul and the Fremen prepare to surround the city of Arrakeen, and they prepare for battle. Gurney Halleck deploys atomic warheads, and they bomb the spice plant beside the city, what the rest of the Imperium would rightly consider an act of terror. This is a coup. After the dust clears, a new wall of sand appears before the Sardaukar, and the sand beneath their feet slides, and then, boom, the gaping mouths of the Shai Hulud appear, with their whale-like baleen sucking them in. All of them surfed by Fremen flying Atreides banners. Chani leads in, all of them surfed by Fremen flying a
Bro, they skipped the
banners.
part with Stilgar.
Chani leads in the ground forces, and there's an amazing shot where she fights Sardaukar soldiers and finishes one off by turning back to camera in the spear's pose. This is exactly the vision that Paul had in the first film, showing himself fighting in a future war, but now Chani has taken his place because she is the one fighting the good fight. Paul's forces break into the throne room, and he marches right up to Vladimir, greets him as grandfather, and stabs him in the neck. Meanwhile, Gurney kills Revan, getting revenge for Duke Leto. With the other great houses worshipped
he skipped again. Bro, that scene where Paul, hold on.
Paul's forces break into the throne.
Yeah, that scene right there, bro, it was crazy, cause like the little guards of the Emperor, they like walking into the dust. They was like, you feel me? They had the swords ready. They were just walking. And like, bro, it was crazy, cause like I love how this movie, they really like, bro, they just so good on the sound, cause like they didn't even do like the whole class, like you could hear them like fighting, bro. It was like one minute they was like walking to the dust, then like the next minute, bro, you just see a whole gang just pop out like they just light worked, bro. It was a fire shot,
right
dude.
up to Vladimir, greets him as grandfather, and stabs him in the neck. Meanwhile, Gurney kills Revan, getting revenge for Duke Leto. With the other great houses worshipped arriving, Paul brings in the Emperor and threatens to blow the spice fields. Reverend Mother Mohaim warns,
"Consider what you're about to do, Paul Atreides."
Silence! And commands her with the voice that typically only the Bene Gesserit can summon. Paul demands a duel from the Emperor, and Fade Rotha steps forward as the Emperor's champion. Paul salutes him.
"May thy knife chip and shatter."
And the duel is so sleekly choreographed and shot, where Greg Fraser lights them from behind with the dawning sun. Really, the only
bro, and during this whole fight,
it
was no music. It was completely silent, just
looks
boxing.
real and it feels vicious. But the
Straight
duel
boxing.
enters its final stage when Fade Rotha looks at Chani and asks, "Is your pet? Any special attention for the pet?" And we should definitely take that as an insult, but we should also remember that this psychopath also kept 3 females in his chamber as pets and fed them like pets. Paul gets stabbed in the side, but as Fade Rotha approaches for the kill, Paul stabs him. It's an understated ending to the duel, and it feels almost treacherous, and that is the point. Stilgar just punctuates it as a victory with a
LISAN al
GAIB. But this is wrong, because Paul has secured this victory through political manipulations and religious fanaticism, not through any moral courage. We shouldn't feel good right now. With the novel Dune, Frank Herbert wrote, and Denis Villeneuve understands as the director of this film, that this is really the story of how easily...
That's the shot. That's the shot of the nigga. Bro, look at this nigga, bro. Bro, this nigga's so badass. I love this nigga Stilgar, bro. That's the shot. That's the shot, bro. That's the shot. Look at my nigga Stilgar.
Feel good right now.
Look at
With the novel
Stilgar.
Dune, Frank Herbert wrote, and Denis Villeneuve understands as the director of this film, that this is really the story of how easily large populations are manipulated and how easily we can convince ourselves that we're the hero. The great houses declare war, beginning the destructive holy war that we will see in Dune Messiah most likely. But I love that this film ends with Chani, who stays on Arrakis and summons a Shai-Hulud. Her feeling of betrayal that she felt with Paul is the moral bitter taste in our mouths that we are supposed to judge this story with. While we heard Paul snap at his mother earlier that this story was not hope, this shot of Chani represents hope. It's Luke looking at the binary sunset. It's T.E. Lawrence gazing out at the horizon and defiantly declaring nothing is written. Dune Part 2 might very well end up being my favorite movie of 2024, and for me it is up there with The Empire Strikes Back as all-time greatest sequels or part 2s of a trilogy. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to all 3 channels on the new Rockstars.
That was crazy, bro. Cause like, bro, when we was writing back, like discussing the movie, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like Zendaya's character did get played like crazy, bro. Cause Paul, this whole time you talking about like that shit was such a, cause he didn't talk about how after he won the duel, he said he's gonna take the Emperor's daughter as like his wife. You feel me? So he can have basically more political power to his claim of, you feel me? So nah, bro. The whole movie, Paul was just saying like he just want to do right by the Ferdinand, bro. He want to do right by them, but then he started getting power hungry. You feel me? He started pulling the black coat. He started talking his junk, and like he trying to make this whole little facade, like he's trying to lead him to paradise, the green, luscious, whatever, and all that. But like, bro, that boy Paul, that boy changed. He drank that little blue juice, and he on demon timing now, dude. But nah, bro, Dune
Network. I'm Eric.
Fire
Moss.
movie.
Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Fire movie, bro. Fire, bro. That shit was fire. I'm not gonna lie, Dune 1, I like Dune 1, but like, I definitely said like if part 2 was good, then They got a series for real. Part 2 was good. I'm ready for that war. I'm ready for the war, dude. I'm ready for the war. I'm ready for the war, man. Nah, man.